The Kappa family snagged a great deal on a vacation at a resort that seemed too good to be true. As soon as they arrived, they were treated like royalty, with special cocktails for the adults and a fun candy station for the kids. While enjoying their stay, Trent, one of the Kappa kids, made friends with Idlib, another child staying at the hotel. The family settled into their room and the kids wasted no time in heading to the beach. Trent's idea of fun was chatting up adults about their jobs, which amused everyone. However, that night, Guy and Priska, the parents, were seen arguing. They were planning to divorce but didn't know how to tell their children. Meanwhile, the kids played a game to distract themselves from the tension. The next morning at breakfast, they met other families, including Crystal and her family, and Patricia and Jaron Carmichael. During breakfast, Patricia had a seizure, but Jaron, a nurse, quickly helped her. The resort manager told them about a secluded beach nearby, convincing Guy and Priska to agree to go. After breakfast, they all boarded a bus, only to find Crystal's family joining them, making the trip less exclusive. The bus took them to a nature reserve, ignoring warning signs, and dropped them off at a clearing. From there, they followed a path to the beach, where they encountered mid-sized Sedan, a rapper, chilling on a rock. Despite the beautiful scenery, tensions among the adults persisted. Priska and Guy argued, while Charles was annoyed by Crystal's constant selfies. While the kids play, they notice strange things like old, rusty utensils scattered on the beach and the absence of fish in the water. Suddenly, a blonde head floats up behind Trent, causing him to scream and his father to rush over. Charles, a surgeon, and Guy, who specializes in insurance fraud, take charge of handling the dead body found on the beach. Charles suspects Sedan, pointing out that he was the only other person there, and his nose is bleeding. Priska tries to shield her kids from the corpse, but Trent is distracted by his tight swimsuit. Meanwhile, Agnes feels unwell, complaining of chest pain, and Charles attempts to call for help, but there's no signal. Just then, the Carmichaels emerge from a cavern, having missed the earlier group. Jaron heads into the cavern to stop the bus driver, but he blacks out, only to wake up on the beach with a headache. Crystal notices that Agnes has stopped breathing, and despite Jaron's efforts, it's too late. Suddenly, chaos ensues as Trent's voice deepens, and the kids age rapidly, becoming unrecognizable. Sedan tries to flee, pursued by Charles, but they're unable to leave the canyon, experiencing intense headaches reminiscent of being underwater. Unable to find another way off the beach, they remain stranded with two dead bodies, and the food supplies dwindle quickly. Charles loses his temper, cutting Sedan's cheek, only to find the wound healing miraculously fast. As tensions rise, it becomes clear that something more than just a virus is at play. Priska reveals she has a tumor, which has rapidly grown since their arrival. She faints as the tumor continues to expand. Charles finds himself in a tough spot and has to perform surgery on the beach. He cuts into the body, but just like before, the wound closes up immediately. On top of that, Charles starts hearing voices in his head, worsened by the beach environment. With Jaron's encouragement, he manages to focus and tries the surgery again, with everyone helping to keep the incision open. Priska wakes up feeling better after the tumor is removed. To their surprise, they find the body of the blonde woman already decomposed, indicating it had been there for years. Priska, being a museum curator, estimates it's been decomposing for about 7 years. They realize time moves much faster on the beach, with half an hour equaling a year of their lives. This explains why the kids are so hungry, needing to grow quickly. Jaron speculates it's linked to the rocks surrounding the beach, which may also be why they can't leave. Charles initially dismisses it, but then they notice Trent and Kara missing for a long time. They find them on the shoreline, with Kara heavily pregnant and about to give birth. Charles tries to help Kara deliver the baby while dealing with his own mental struggle. Guy explains to Trent how his playing with Kara led to her pregnancy. Trent, still mentally a child, doesn't fully grasp the situation. Crystal faints when her daughter gives birth, and unfortunately, the baby doesn't survive due to the fast passage of time. Charles, losing his sanity, attacks Sedan, who dies instantly due to his inability to clot blood. Crystal dashes away when she realizes that getting older means getting wrinkles, leaving Kara to mourn her newborn alone. Although she was pregnant for just 20 minutes, it's still heartbreaking. Jaren opts to swim out to sea, hoping for a slim chance of survival, leaving Guy, Patricia, and Priska as the only remaining responsible adults. Guy, while struggling to disarm Charles, has an epiphany and shares it with his wife. Every family had a member with some ailment. For them, it was Priska's tumor, Charles's schizophrenia, and Patricia's epilepsy. Even the loners, like the blonde lady and Sedan, had their health issues. He asks his wife how she found out about the resort, and she reveals it was from a pharmacy sweepstakes. This means they were aware of their medical histories. Later, Maddox confronts his mother about her planned divorce. Priska admits, revealing a secret relationship, unknown to Guy. Maddox, trying to stay strong, heads into the ocean to think, but he collides with Jaren's body. It seems Jaren drowned after blacking out while swimming, a fate possibly shared by the blonde woman. Merely swimming far enough can lead to loss of consciousness. Meanwhile, Kara tries to climb out of the cove. Trent follows, but his mother intervenes. Kara continues climbing until she blacks out, falls, and dies instantly. Following Kara's demise, Guy suggests they stick together, but then Patricia succumbs to seizures and passes away. With her gone, only the Kappa family remains, along with Crystal, hidden in a cave. Night falls, and they light a fire. Guy notices his vision fading, while Priska begins to lose her hearing. Sitting together, Guy admits he knew about the affair and isn't upset anymore. Priska expresses her desire to be with him, her husband. Meanwhile, Maddox and Trent stumble upon a collection of notebooks from others trapped like them. One notebook suggests that the beach's unique minerals accelerate cell aging. Trent wonders if they could create a metal tube to shield themselves from the rock's effects. It's the kind of idea only a child would come up with, so Maddox ignores it. Soon, they notice a shiny object on a distant cliff, realizing it's a camera, confirming they're being watched. Meanwhile, Charles, unnoticed till then, sneaks up on Guy, who's nearly blind. Charles attacks, but it takes a while for Priska to notice due to her hearing impairment. She warns the kids, and they find Crystal in a nearby crevice. Crystal panics when Trent tries to light a match, fearing her aged appearance will be revealed. She throws rocks at them, but her fragile bones break, turning her into a monster before she dies. Priska saves Guy by using a rusty knife on Charles, poisoning him and causing instant death. The Kappa family remains the last one standing, huddled by the fire. Guy, affected by dementia, forgets their quarrels and why they wanted to leave the beautiful beach. He dies, followed shortly by Priska. Come morning, Trent and Maddox find themselves in their late 30s, resigned to their fate with no hope of rescue. Instead of struggling to survive, they opt to build a sandcastle. As they, now resembling children in adult bodies, play around, Trent remembers that Idlib had sent him a message to decipher, but they never got around to it. Maddox suggests decoding it now, given their lack of other activities. Trent obliges, and they uncover a message saying, "My uncle doesn't like the coral." They wonder if Idlib intended to warn or save them, pondering over the hidden meaning behind the quarrel. With little time for hesitation, they venture into the sea towards the coral, where they stumble upon an underwater tunnel. Maddox's shirt gets snagged on coral, and they struggle to free it as they run out of air. Meanwhile, someone with binoculars searches for them. It's Theo, the bus driver. However, they fail to resurface, and Theo concludes they drowned. Despite doubts from the other end of the radio, Theo remains certain. With Trial 73's final members deceased, Theo packs up and heads back to the high-tech lab base with scientists. At the lab, the resort manager leads a moment of silence for the fallen members of Trial 73, highlighting how the beach facilitated life-saving drug trials. The resort, a front for a pharmaceutical company, expedited clinical trials, spiked welcome drinks with trial medicine tailored to each family's illnesses. Trent's childhood curiosity about people's occupations turned out to be crucial information. As Trent hands a vacationing police officer the journal they found, they discover it lists the names of missing persons. Trent and Maddox's survival in the underwater cave leads to the exposure and downfall of the drug company. With their evidence, the police arrive at the resort, resulting in the company's bust. A helicopter arrives to take Trent, Maddox, and the police officer home. Turn on alerts, like, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. Thank you for watching.